I'm going to call the meeting to order of the Land Use Working Group Municipal Office Consolidation Subcommittee. It is Thursday, February 5th at 12:01. Um, I'm here. I'll be the acting chair today. The other member here is Paul, and we're
I think I'll
waiting.
be doing, yeah, I'll be doing minutes today, probably.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're waiting for Tracy. Um, Okay, first thing on our agenda is public comment. Is anyone here like to make a public comment? If so, please raise your hand. Be happy to hear from you. Seeing none, I'll move into the approval of available meeting minutes. We've got three sets of minutes, December 17th, January 7th, and January 12th.
You hear me? My camera seems to freeze, but can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, don't worry that I'm not moving. I am alive. Uh,
Okay.
I just had one comment. I think it was on the January 7th minutes where there was a comment that somebody made that we were not going to consider the new building at Ripley, or we decided not to consider in the financial analysis the new building at Ripley because of, I forget, but we might have actually said that, but certainly we are considering that's one of our options, the new building at Ripley, right?
Is it still in there? I know we did talk about that, and I remember discussing that without without unlocking Ripley, nothing made sense financially.
Yeah, I just bring that up because it's in the minutes. I mean, it's okay if we discuss it at that point, but it is in our analysis.
Okay. Okay, then we can, what do you want to do?
Well, if we said it, we said it, but I just want to make sure that that's an, I don't remember if
Paul,
that was it.
Paul, can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I was late. I was outside with my dog. Sorry.
We were talking about the minutes, and I think in the minutes of I'm looking now to January
January.
7th
Yep.
Mhm.
on page 2, it said the committee agreed to remove the new building at Ripley option from further financial analysis due to minimal benefit. Now, if we said it, then that's fine, but we are indeed considering that option. That's
Yeah, I think that was AI helping me with the minutes there. I thought that that was still on the table.
it is. Uh, we can keep it in the minutes or remove it or
Do you
um,
want to just amend it? I can pull up the minutes and amend it right now.
I think we did say we were going to do it. The question is, are we really going to do it?
what do you mean? It's in the analysis. It's one of our options, right?
Yeah, right, it
Oh,
is. So apparently we said we would remove it, but
we're
we
going to
didn't.
do it.
We,
I,
we,
I I don't know how to amend the minutes. Do we have a parenthesis? We were only kidding. You know.
no,
Uh,
Um,
I think, okay, here's a solution we could think about. We could leave it in the minutes because I do remember talking about that and saying that. But we could say at this meeting that we have decided to, in fact, keep it as one of the options.
yeah.
yes.
Okay. That
Okay,
was my only comment on any of the minutes, Mary.
great, good. Okay,
So
so
do you want to amend any of these minutes, Paul? Or no? We're just going to leave it.
I'd say we just leave it and we just record it in this meeting that, and I think in prior meetings we actually are considering that option. So I just leave it in there.
Okay,
Okay.
great. So do we have a motion to approve these three sets of minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second, second,
Okay, okay, I think I have to take a roll call because we're all on Zoom. Tracy Morano, yes? Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Paul
yes.
and myself, yes. Very good. Okay. Um, Good. Let's get to the meat of our meeting. Like I said before you came, Tracy, I feels good to be finally on the home stretch of the subcommittee's work. We'll decide at the end if we need to meet again, but I really think we're really heading towards having what we need for the larger group. Okay, so on our agenda, we have review sections of the subcommittee report with emphasis on next steps. Those next steps, we have three listed here: potential RFP for new Muni or Peabody, focus on the costs to bring up to code versus renovation, and develop space requirements consistent with financial model. So I look at this agenda item as kind of two parts. One is looking at our report and agreeing on things we want to recommend for next steps. That's one part of it. And the other part is giving direction to staff as far as what we want the RFP for to gain confidence in our estimates and our cost estimates, to give them some confidence in where we go with that. Did that make sense?
I think so.
Okay, let's do the first part, which the second part of what I just said, which is let's talk about what we want the RFP to look like so that we can gain confidence in some of the cost estimates that we're depending upon for our recommendations. And I guess I'm going to go from the bottom up. And first, I'm looking at develop the space requirements consistent with the financial model. We had the draft of the RFP that went up had three different space requirement documents attached to it. One was the Inkstone report for Peabody. One was staff's report, no, Russ, for the new Muni, and then there was your spreadsheet, Paul, that you did. So I'd like to hear from Paul and Tracy. What do you think of those three? Which should be included? What?
Well, the s- the space requirements in the spreadsheet that I sent out, which had all the buildings and then how much program space and staff space, that was built up from our basic work. So I mean, I think that spreadsheet is and that's the one I sent out for comments. I got
Yes.
comments back. It probably needs a little bit of truthing, for example. But anyway, I think that's where we should start because that was based on I don't know how relevant the other documents are, but the space requirements that fit with our option and our model come from that document. It has a number of staff. It has the approximate square foot for staff space, program space, by building, and includes the program space for both carousel and integrated schools, so two school groups, and it has council on aging program space. So I think that's the only document I think that captures specifically the pieces that are in alignment with your model.
I agree. I agree. Tracy, do you have anything you want to add?
No, I agree with that, but I think it would be helpful if we can like as we're talking about these documents, can we just screen share the documents so people that are on with us know what we're talking about?
I don't have the
Is that
document.
possible?
Well, I just sent that spreadsheet, which is actually
Got it.
yeah, put that up, Shannon. It's in the appendix of the draft report, but it's not a clean version. I sent the clean version out. If you can put that up, Shannon.
That.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So this is says this went building by building, staff space, and then had program space, and it had notes where this information was coming from. This amounted to roughly 48,000 square feet, just adding up those numbers, and it had the outdoor space, two playgrounds, which are 7,500 square feet each. I think those were just based on additive needs, whether so I'd say these are the best raw numbers we have. And I say raw because, for example, the Harvey Wheeler space, and I have a note here, it said I estimated that based on taking the existing space and multiplying and just by 1.5. And I think at one of our previous meetings, we had asked Megan, or Megan had offered to sharpen that up a little bit to actually talk about the real needs as opposed to my inferred needs. So note B is sort of inferred needs based on existing space, but we needed another look at that. So that's the Harvey Wheel line for the line number 20. But so that probably needs refinement. The other ones are just based on staff and um, and playground.
So, Paul, was the Council on Aging the only thing that earlier you mentioned that there might be some cleaning up we could do to this? Is that what you had in mind when you said that?
That is what I had in mind. The
Okay.
other the other lines, the Ripley line came from Tracy. So we have input. We know that came from only the Council on Aging didn't really have any input other than my input of taking existing space and multiplying it by 50%.
Hmm.
So it's probably close, but that needed um, sort of a Council on Aging carousel input. So that would have two inputs, one from Recreation and one from Dan Pettit, I guess, through Megan. So I don't know how to. That's sort of the refinement that we would need on this.
Okay. Okay. And Tracy, to answer your point about the other two space requirements we had didn't include Ripley, which is why this particular one is probably, not probably, it's definitely more consistent with the financial modeling and all of our other assumptions. So that's why I think this is really the best space requirement we have. At this stage, it's really, we overuse this, but it's an order of magnitude for consultants um, to figure out the cost to bring particular buildings up to code.
Yeah.
Megan, you've got your hand up. What do you want to say?
Oh, hi everyone. Thank you for the conversation. Megan Smuto, Deputy Town Manager. I just wanted to ask, and maybe this should be done offline, but it might be helpful to talk about it as a group if you have a moment, is with these numbers, in this kind of scope that we're looking to do, I don't know, and I don't know if Russ could, if it's appropriate for him to chime in, like to get this answer, do I have to put these square footages on places in the kind of floor plans of the buildings? You know what I mean? Because the reason I ask is for the different uses, for example, preschool uses or, kind of open assembly uses for COA, the cost to get it up to code, it depends where you put it in the building. Um, I'm not sure if I'm just not familiar if, of taking just the numbers of how much space for each program would be sufficient. And maybe it is. I didn't know if that was something that you'd be comfortable just kind of hearing from for a moment.
I think that's a good point to bring up. I'm assuming that the consultants that would be part of the work that they would do. We would tell them, here's our space requirements. Here
Right.
are the blueprints for the building. You tell us, how it best fits and what it would cost to bring up to code for those uses. That's my thinking.
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah, I don't think we need to show exactly where it goes in the building, but I think we need to specify how much classroom space and assume that that'll all go in the same place. We're not sure where that is. And the Council on Aging space, which would include kitchens, for example, that would go together. But where it actually goes, um, I, I think we're going to need some more thinking on that. But at this point, for phase one of this work, which is, I'll call it the 10,000 foot conceptual. I think what we have here, just telling the consultant the types of space we need,
Mhm.
as opposed to where exactly it's going to go, because we don't know where it's going to go.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is, I'm asking, that's another like bullet in my scope is to be like, here's the square footage. Like you figure out where it's going to go. Because if we were building off of other plans that we had, then that piece would not be included in this ask. But now it's just adding to it a little bit to say this is what we have. We have the square footages for these programs, and now take this and conceptualize where it goes and then tell us the cost, right?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
I think
yes,
that's it, because
yes.
unless the consultant comes back and says we can't do this unless we have more specificity, I think we take the lead from them. But if they can give us the uh, the better estimate, not the final estimate, but a better estimate for our model. Remember, this is phase one. We're probably going to need much more detailed information down the road, but right now, early on, I think giving them these buckets of space, I think, is what we need.
And I guess, for the future space needs, both in your notes from note A and note B, that's not included, but I think it should be included. Because, there is going to be additional housing, so there is going to be growth at the integrated preschool and also at Concord Carousel, and I would assume, COA. So it's not really reflected in here, but I think that we have to account for growth.
Okay, so I guess Megan, is that clear that we'll go with Paul's?
I think so. Sorry, Tracy, could you repeat that again, about the growth component? Because if something isn't reflected in here, we would want to get it to where it is before we
Yeah.
move forward, right? I don't
Yeah.
want to.
So it's in the note there. So in note A, like it says from T Morano on 1217, but then in parentheses, it says not included the 3,000 square feet of future needs based on town growth. And then also in note B, it's the same thing. There's an estimate of what that growth would be, but I don't think it's really reflected anywhere except for the notes. So I just want attention brought to that.
Are the other cells with numbers including any growth, or I mean, or just assuming as is? Is that
As is. Yeah.
okay? Okay, got it. Thank you.
Well, and the staff is as is.
Yep. That
Is
makes
there
sense.
Yeah.
going to be there's going to be growth in staff or
No.
Yeah, I think
I,
this
I,
is a slippery slope because
yeah,
I mean, where's the growth? Is there going to be growth in staff for the other services that we're providing, like the town clerk, or I'm not sure I'm comfortable with putting kind of arbitrary growth figures on certain services.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something to note that there could be additional space needs.
Yeah, a note would be great. It
Mhm.
then that yeah, okay. Okay, so
Well, just
are
just
we
just
are we
just as a reminder here, so one of our options is looking at a current 75,000 square foot building, right? Right now, only roughly 45,000 is available.
Yeah.
So there's space of, the growth is an interesting conundrum here.
yeah, yeah.
But if we pick a building, whether it's a new building or Peabody has more than 47,000. So I think our options have, and we haven't even talked about the size of a new building. We're estimating it 50,000 square foot plus. So I think all of our options really have possibility of growth built into the
Okay.
structures, I think.
Yep. No, that's helpful. I just wanted to be said out loud.
Well, I think it's a good point, and when we're looking at our options, we didn't really put that into one of our criteria to evaluate. We talked about sustainability and location. We didn't put capacity for growth. I wish I didn't just say that, but
I know.
um,
I know. But if we're talking about additional housing coming to town, there's going to be growth,
okay. I think maybe somewhere in for now, let's stick with what we have.
Mhm.
And
One other thing I want to bring up, Mary, because it was in
yeah,
Russ's sketch, and that was a town clerk. We had, in looking at the townhouse, this group, in early consultation with Kerry, we're not moving the town clerk's office. That was staying in the townhouse. I think most other functions were moving, and that's the staff numbers reflect that. So I
that's
just
right.
want to make sure we're still in agreement that the town clerk's office is not part of this.
Is that Carrie, are you here? I'm looking at
She is.
Carrie, she is. I don't know
I
if
am,
she's
no, I'm here.
great. Can you give us your current thinking about the location of the town clerk's office?
Yeah,
And
it hasn't changed. I do think it's important to maintain a presence in the townhouse, and I think the town clerk is the most logical presence here. The only other option is that, potentially we look at the visitor center and making meeting rooms available, but I think that's money that we don't have, having to make those
okay,
renovations.
okay, good. Thank you, because that's how we modeled it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and the other part of that, just not to beat a dead horse, the town archives. I thought, and I'm not exactly sure I mean, these are old records. I thought those were staying in the townhouse. So in other words, we wouldn't need a big archival space in any new space. Is
Yeah,
that
I think
consistent?
that makes sense as well, Paul.
Okay.
Okay, good. That's good news. Okay, so Megan, is that clear as far as the space requirements that you'll include in the RFP?
Yeah, so we have the scope that you all received. Um, and we have the space plan numbers here. And we'll go to find out how much this costs for this work and what kind of schedule it can be done on.
Okay, I want to back up I'm looking at my agenda, and one of the things we talked about is focus on the cost to bring it up to code versus renovation. This came up at the last larger land use working group as far as a cost per square foot to bring up to code versus the cost per square foot to renovate. And I think in this RFP, we're looking for the cost to bring it up to code. And I don't know if that's, I don't even know if that's a distinction that's helpful, but if it is, that's what we were thinking.
You
Anybody?
don't want the renovation costs.
No, no, it's
Okay.
just to bring it up to code.
Okay.
But Mary, wouldn't there be some renovation costs regardless when you have to divide up spaces and things
Yes,
like that?
yeah, but
Well, and it's in the model. It's just not, we don't have a consultant estimate. You have renovation costs in there, but
yes,
we don't have an independent assessment of that.
right.
And
Um, Go ahead.
no, I just, my view of if we ask the consultant to do this, the consultant would say, okay, uh, where are things going to go? What's the final space plan to actually renovate? Where's the kitchen? Where are the partitions? That's the actual, you know, detailed renovation, and we can't get it at this point. So I think, do we go with Mary's estimate, which we do have a number for that, which came from Russ, I think.
We do,
So
well, yeah, well, actually, the whole reason we're doing this RFP is to get a better feel for the numbers that I used going forward. Okay. The numbers that I used in the model that we're going to use in our report make some broad assumptions around what it costs to bring these buildings up to code and what it costs to renovate them. Now, before we actually moved on any of these, we would need better costs. And here's our first step to try to get a better cost to refine these costs and gain some confidence in our decision. So let's remember that, yeah, I have costs in the model, but
yeah.
the whole point of this is going forward, how clean are these numbers?
Well, my point was on the code. I think we needed a consultant to actually tell us what are the elements of bringing up to code. Could
Yeah,
we,
yeah,
and that was more tangible than a final renovation plan.
yeah,
So I think I was saying, I'm comfortable with your rough renovation numbers, but I'm not comfortable with the rough code numbers because there are a lot of moving pieces on the code part. So we needed the
yeah,
code part.
yeah, yeah. We got renovation numbers from Judith, so we have those, and yeah, I feel confident in those. It's the code. Yeah,
Yeah.
Can I,
go
um,
ahead.
but when you would renovate, you would bring it up to code. Like
Yeah.
that is,
Yeah, but there's two things. One is to bring it up to code and then to renovate it for that specific space. They're different things. One
Well,
is,
I see it as they go hand in hand. Like, I mean, I think that any renovation, you have to bring anything up to code the second you touch anything. And I like for RFP purposes, I guess I'm not understanding why we wouldn't want to get renovation. I mean, I know we don't know specifically what we need, but I mean, I think that they could give us even a better number if we're putting it out to an RFP anyway. Like, why wouldn't we include a renovation number?
I think for me, it goes back to the question is, do we really need to know where each use goes in the building? I don't, and this is what I need to learn from the consultants. So, and if we do, yeah, we could put, and we got a cost from Judith that's $150 a square foot to renovate space. So we could use that number. But and if the consultants can do this without increasing the scope or the cost of this RFP, I'm okay with that. But
Yeah, I agree with that. And, I guess there's no harm keeping it in the scope. Now, if the consultant comes back and says, I can't give you a renovation cost without a detailed space plan, fine. But if they say, I can give you a rough renovation cost, fine. And then we compare that with the number we have right now. So there's no harm in keeping it in there.
okay.
If it's going to double the price, which I don't think it will, because I think, Tracy, you're probably right. I think the code and the renovation piece kind of go hand in hand, sort of, but we don't know
Yeah.
where things are going to go.
Yeah, it's the level of detail they need to do renovation versus code. And if there's, so Megan,
Yeah.
I think you can put it in there and see if that's going to add a lot of time or cost to this RFP. Can,
If you don't mind, just one more question. I think I'm wondering if it would be possible for a member of the subcommittee to be available to have a preliminary conversation with an architect or a consultant. I think there's a number that live in town that could, kind of advise and and I can do that as well, and I will once I was trying to understand what exactly we were looking for, but just to reduce the kind of translation between, it might be helpful for someone to sit in and listen to, before like the full RFP process, what do you think about the scope and kind of get some peer review.
so this would be done just as a pro bono kind kind of thing
Well,
with
I
a,
think when we're
with
developing
a,
scopes, you can, you talk to people and you're like, this is what I'm thinking, and just to get some general advice because sometimes when I can say for this other study that I'm working on, it's like, we think we have an understanding of what we want, and then you need to kind of bounce it around to industry experts. And so, yeah, I'm just wondering if someone from the subcommittee would be available to have that conversation because it might lead to a recommendation to adjust things a different way.
Well, I think the answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yes. And I nominate Paul.
I second that.
Okay.
Look, Paul, you've just won.
He's smiling. That's good.
Thank you. That's why my camera keeps freezing because of the burden. There it goes, froze again.
Yeah.
No, we see you. I see you fine.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
thank
so are
you.
you okay with that, Paul?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving up from the bottom, the last thing in this agenda item is a potential RFP for New Muni and Peabody. I think we need to discuss that, which sites do we want to include in this RFP?
Well, I think as long as Peabody remains a viable option, we would need both. However, I think we haven't discussed this with finality, but I think we're moving pretty strongly towards a new muni, only because that unlocks a lot of value, and we're going to need that like the capital. Um, and yeah, so do we include Peabody just sort of as a reserve, a fail-safe? I think the question has come up, maybe it's premature. What if plan A, which is purchase a specific building, doesn't work out? What if, do we go for a different municipal building as opposed do we pivot to Peabody? That's a question that we haven't discussed yet. Maybe that question comes first, Mary, because if
Yeah.
plan A is a municipal building and plan B is another municipal building and plans, then why spend any money on Peabody?
Yep. What are your
Right.
thoughts, Tracy?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. So if plan A doesn't work by purchasing one, then I mean you're either renovating Peabody or building a new muni somewhere. So it's either Peabody or Ripley are the only spaces that you have to build it.
No, I think he's saying something. I heard him
What
say
is he saying?
something.
Sorry.
He's saying that if the new muni we have in mind falls through for whatever reason,
Yeah.
right? Would our fallback position be to build at Peabody or Ripley, or would it be to search for another um, commercial building and consider that as opposed to the one where that's the front runner now? So it's not our other options, which is build at Peabody or Mute or Ripley. It's more, hey, is there another commercial building out there?
Okay. Sorry. When you say new muni, I assume it's build new. Sorry. That was my
Oh, yeah, the bad it was a bad label we put on it.
yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so
Well,
yeah, so now that you
but
know that, so we're back to the question of would our second um choice be Peabody, or would our second choice be um look for another location that's already built?
It's a good question. I mean, it depends on what the renovation costs of Peabody are, right? I mean, there's not an unlimited amount of funds here, and it is cheaper to find something that's already built.
yeah,
And
and right now the financial analysis that Mary has done with all the uncertainties, and they point clearly to the purchasing an existing building and unlocking the value of Ripley, Peabody, and other properties. If we use up one of those other properties for consolidation, we just decrease the value. And so I
Selling
see
it.
Carrie has her hand up.
yeah, Carrie.
So, you know, I know we've definitely heard from members of the community that don't think Peabody is a good solution for anything other than redevelop to something else. I'm not sure that we've heard from, or I haven't heard from people who might think it is a good redevelopment opportunity and or it's been in the town's possession for however many years and they're not interested in releasing that property, or do we need to hold it for another school? And so I think some level of due diligence and understanding what the renovation costs without breaking the bank probably will be important for a certain segment of the community.
Well, I think you raised two good points. One is, to be conservative, that backup information will be useful. The other point is that we certainly haven't consulted the public. And I think the select board briefly talked about the need to do that. And I think that's probably the entire land use group, not just this community group. At some point, that is going to be really important. So I think the final input from the public and how that might change any or all of this is still out there. But to your point, getting both pieces of information, Peabody and the new building, I think it's prudent.
I think the model though clearly shows that renovating Peabody is not a financially attractive option.
Yeah.
Um, so it's almost we're spending money to kind of
Prove what we already know.
prove what. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So and if we don't sell Peabody, we miss the opportunity of unlocking some value there that we definitely need to do the other things that we're trying to do in town. So I think we have a strong, at least our subcommittee has a strong argument for we need to use the money available at Peabody after we rezone so that we can fund other things. And yeah, we haven't, and there are voices in town that are saying, you've heard them, that we should be selling the assets we have to fund
Yeah.
other things. So I see Sven's hand up. Sven.
Yeah, I was just want to point out that some of this discussion you're having is probably in the larger land use working group, and specifically also bleeding into phase two, when we need to discuss what to do with the say remaining properties. One question for sure in a larger group we have to address and think about is, do we need there's a push to sell a lot, but do we need to have spare property somewhere as a reserve available? Let's say there's plenty of developments, and suddenly we have to build another school. So
Mhm.
is there some kind of insurance? But to your point, Mary, the model shows the numbers on Peabody very challenging, because if you would keep Peabody as a reserve, you would still have to put money in. Um, and then you then not only you are not harvesting the value, but you have a dollar sink property there.
Mhm.
So a reserve, again, that's a discussion perhaps on a broader thing. It should be a property that is not continued costly for the taxpayer, either no building on it or a building that can just run. Yeah. So that is the reserve part. But keep that in mind that I think there will be a discussion in the larger group, latest in phase two, about the need for reserve property.
Thank you.
Let me get back to Carrie's point on maybe it would be useful to get Peabody. So right now, Mary, your financial model kind of nixes Peabody uh, in part because we need the value of that, but that value is only what, 5 to 10 million. The real thing that kicks it out is the cost of renovating. Um, so wouldn't it be helpful to confirm that that the cost of renovating are, is high? So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying what kicks it out of the renovation cost. So quote unquote proving that to the select board and the public might be useful by getting an independent piece of that, independent view of that. So maybe just for that purpose, not because we anticipate using Peabody as a consolidation target, but just to confirm why we're not. Yeah?
Okay. I think what I'm hearing is that it's definitely worthwhile to include Peabody in the RFP to get firmer costs to bring it up to code. I think does everybody agree with that? We should at
I do.
least get more information. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
And now what we do, we're not going to have that in time for our subcommittee's report, right? And I think Sven makes a really good point that some of the questions we're struggling with here are really more appropriate for a broader look at everything that's going on in town. So we will go with what we've got already in the model with with our imperfect assumptions, and then when we get better assumptions around the cost to bring things up to code and to renovate, that will be part of a broader discussion. Does that summarize where we are,
Yeah.
Paul,
I think so.
Tracy?
That sounds
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. So Megan, we are going to include Peabody in this RFP to get a more confidence and a better feel for the costs that I've used in the model.
So there's
Okay, so
two properties we're looking at. Is that right?
yes,
Okay.
yes, exactly. Okay. Okay, great. Let's go back now. And it's going to be hard for me to just stick with what we've got in the subcommittee, in our subcommittee work and packaging that without jumping into the phase two of our larger group work. But let's try to just go back to the work that we've done so far and how we're going to package that and bring that to the broader committee. I believe we're on tap to bring something on February 20th to the larger group. So, um, what would you like to do, Paul, since you've been the compiler here?
What are you asking me?
How would you like to proceed since you're the compiler of this report. I want to ask people, did anybody have a chance to look at the report from the Public Works Subcommittee?
No, I was traveling, sorry.
That's okay. That's
And
okay.
that February 20th meeting, that is smack in the middle of school vacation week. I just want to just say that because you might have members on the committee that aren't able to attend that.
I hope Sven's listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the timeline we're under is the select board needs to move forward with some work for MCI. So we're already a
Yep.
little bit behind
Yep.
some commitments that we've made. Where was I with this? Does
So,
anybody
We're
read
asking Paul how he wants
Yeah.
to proceed.
No, I was asking Paul. Paul, did you read the Public Works
no,
report?
no.
Okay, you gotta look at it. It's outstanding. It's so we've got the work they did is great. So it might be something to review. I mean, our work is great too. They've
Has that been sent to us, Mary? Is that in the
Yeah,
packet
yeah.
for
Shannon,
tomorrow?
Shannon sent it out in the packet of materials for our
For
meeting
tomorrow? Yeah.
tomorrow. Yes.
Okay.
It's just an outstanding report. Sven, you got your hand up.
Yeah, I think is uh, as you said, it's an outstanding report. They set the bar very high. I was not expecting a report in that volume and that detail when this came in. So don't feel pressure to generate a similar report. Okay.
Who wrote the report? Who wrote the report? I need to
I think we know.
know.
Well,
Okay, I just wanted to, no pressure, but no,
well,
seriously.
okay. So I'm
We
getting
have a
back to the
great
question.
report too. We're in good shape too. But
The-
it felt good to see that, the other subcommittees are stepping up, and it gave me kind of gave me some more momentum about the work that we're doing. So it was good. It was a good thing to read.
so I'm back to the question you were asking me. First, the status of our report, it's a rough draft, right? All the pieces are put together. I don't think anybody's read the whole thing or edited the whole thing, or I do think we quickly get to the substance of it, and it's readable. As far as length, I think the length is right. So let's take a look at the public works. But the question you were asking me, is it related to the report or is it related to a presentation on the 20th? What were you?
Okay, let's narrow it down to on the 20th. What do we want? I think we're in good shape we could do the 20th tomorrow, I think, as far as having some slides that
Yeah,
summarize
so
the work
so
we
to that point, I'm going to share
Yep.
something that I
Okay, go
did
ahead.
because
Go ahead.
I knew this was coming up.
Good.
Uh, can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just thinking if I was presenting what we have, not the report, but presenting
Yeah,
slides,
good.
here are the things I want to present. Obviously the scope and getting right. What are the list of consolidation pieces? What are the buildings that we're consolidating? Court Street, the whole list of buildings. Okay, so, and then what are the short list of options that we're looking at, which is really the consolidation targets. And then we need to talk about the space requirements that kind of match with those options. And then we have our pros and cons matrix. We have our scoring matrix. We have the recommendation. And then, I think the missing piece here is probably next steps. But it sort of follows the report. But I think we have slides for all of these. And I think we can explain what we did, how we did it, and our conclusions with something like this.
I think this looks great. I think we need to spend time today deciding on our recommendations. We'll do that after we talk about this. Um, I'm wondering right now, based on our conversation we had a few minutes ago, if the backup plan B is something we should hold off on and have that be part of the phase two work of the larger group.
Well, the recommendation probably uh,
Yeah,
would have options.
yeah,
It would talk about all of them, but we'd have to focus on what the recommendation is. Yeah, I think the plan B does go beyond our work. So
yeah, yeah.
but I think the larger group would probably want to know what our thinking is in terms of the conversation we just had. What if the building we're looking at on Baker Avenue isn't available? What happened? You know, what's do
Absolutely, but not, I think that would be part of the ongoing conversation,
yeah,
not,
yeah.
not, where we're ahead of ourselves again. Right now, we're just presenting, here's what we did so far, and what are our
Yeah,
recommendations?
so I think these are the elements I
I
think
think
that
it's great.
we
Yeah.
need.
Yeah, we've got the slides. What do you think, Tracy?
Yeah,
Do you
I
like
mean,
the
I think
outline?
I do like the outline. I think it really frames our work. Paul, are you now volunteering to do slides? Like I'm feeling bad for Paul already.
Well, only that we have these. We have we have space requirements, pros and
Yeah,
cons. Square.
yeah.
We have all of
We
the
do.
The
this is
pieces, we just have to put it together. Yep.
very very easy to do. So yeah, I would we're doing
Well,
a
we
lot of
don't,
Meetings
work.
tomorrow.
I don't
Uh,
think we have recommendations and next steps ironed out amongst us.
Yeah.
in the report we have
Yeah, but we haven't talked about them. So I think we should talk about them now.
okay, let me
Who
take
wrote them in the report?
Well,
well,
Paul,
I
Paul,
Paul,
did.
Mary, Paul.
no, Paul. So I think we should talk about them in next steps.
Yeah, because we haven't really talked about our recommendations yet, have we?
That's right. No, no, we haven't. So
Well,
are you pulling those up, Paul?
oh, the report.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
recommendations section
Yeah.
that you have in the report, that would be helpful.
Um, yeah, let me see. It's in the packet, isn't it? Yeah.
It's in the packet.
Yeah, I'm.
There are just two emails. It's the first one, I think.
Yeah, so let me share this. Uh,
Can I just ask a question? Ripley School is highlighted in in the report. Can I ask why it's highlighted?
Because
uh,
it was
yeah, because
inadvertently deleted in a prior version and I picked it up.
yeah,
Okay.
I wanted to flag that for Mary that I added to it.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
it had been deleted, or it
Yep.
wasn't, it was just an oversight.
Yeah, because I know that there was a little bit of a discussion about I think it was at Monday select board meeting that I watched. The school committee has not talked about Ripley yet. We are happy to move. Like we're part of this whole plan. It hasn't come to our agenda yet because I haven't seen a need for it to be on our agenda. I give updates about the land use working group, so I just wanted to clarify that.
So the committee hasn't really talked about it.
No, no,
Um,
because this is all town property that we're looking to consolidate. The committee's aware of it. Yes.
but
but
but go ahead.
I think we wanted just to make sure that everybody was on board of moving administration and programs out of Ripley to some other place.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had it as a discussion item, but that has very much been part of what my updates have been. I'm happy to get it on for a future agenda, but I don't see any issue with any of the programs moving as long as there's the proper space.
That's good to hear, and
Yeah.
I hope that you're absolutely right on that. Whenever you do anything in town, though, there are going to be some people that are, question those choices, and the more people that are on board with this idea, will help when we go to do things like rezone certain land or move things that people have come to really like to another location. So I think it would be really helpful to kind of broaden people's understanding, and hopefully that translates into support down the road when we need it. So yes, I would like it to, I'm hoping that it can get on the agenda and get input now so that we're all on the same page when it comes time to go to town meeting.
Yep, yep. I can put it on for a March meeting because it has to be a regional meeting.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
So
Okay,
you're
where are
asking,
you?
so
Here we go.
I'm middle in the report though, so this is the sort of how he came up with our short list of options, and these are our five options, not fully described here in the text. For example, none of them say after we consolidate, we're going to sell other properties. So the full description of the options, I think, needs to be in this report. That's why this is a draft. So, but this is shorthand for five options, right? And so we agree on, we've talked about these five options.
Yeah, I think we can go right to the recommendations in
Okay.
the interest of time. Yeah,
Yeah.
this we're very familiar with. The next we're
Yeah.
very familiar with. Yeah, I think we need to spend time kind of getting some consensus among the three of us as far as recommendations and next steps. So what do you got?
Well, you can read it.
Okay, good. I'm reading it. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, and it doesn't talk about what Plan B is, but based on our scoring, I could relate to this, but I mean, you're in option five here, and based on the scoring, we would, and I think we've sort of said that based on scoring, our second option would be Peabody, but indeed, I think it's premature to say that because we haven't discussed, earlier we said our second option may be not Peabody, maybe just to go for a different office building. So
Hmm.
I think this is what I'm proposing is the recommendation.
I'm good with it. What about you, Tracy?
I'm good with it. I think that, what I get stuck on the plan B. What would we do next?
That's yeah, and that's a on down the road
Phase
conversation with
two.
larger
Yep,
group, right?
yep.
Paul, this is bringing to mind something where the only time we really show the financials that clearly, clearly demonstrate that it's moving into an existing building has the clear financial advantage over. The others are almost like not worth doing if you look at the financials. That summary slide, do we have that anywhere in this report? We've got the numbers in the
Yeah, yeah, it's
no, not this. Keep going.
I'm
We
sorry. Yeah,
I think we do.
this is we're looking at the executive summary right now.
Okay,
It's
okay.
it's it's in
It's
the
in
I'm
there.
sorry. I'll scroll down here very quickly. It's
I wonder
in
if you should put that in the executive summary.
Yeah, sorry. Just keep going. It's this.
There you go. That. I think this tells a story. I know we pulled out some of these numbers for that bigger pro con slide that I really like as well. But I think this is should go in the executive summary as well.
I think you're right. I mean, the executive summary by design is redundant with the report.
Yes.
Yes.
I was just trying to make it not as long as the report, but
Because if people read nothing else, they're gonna read the executive summary.
right.
I
So,
do that
but
a
yeah,
lot.
I
this
do too.
this is important. So I'll move this up. I'll keep it here, but move it up.
Yeah, that way we'll be sure people actually read it. Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
guess, my feedback aesthetically to this, if we can try and make it look more universal, because it clearly looks like three people have contributed things on it, even like colors and things like that bother me. So I don't know if one of us wants to take it and or have someone from the town do it so it looks consistent.
I
Well,
can do.
I'll volunteer not being me.
Okay. I'll do it if you want. I can do
Yeah,
that.
that'd be great because I do not have time this afternoon to do that.
Oh, I'm not doing it this afternoon.
Oh, okay, good. Okay,
No, I'm
okay.
not doing
I thought you were doing it before tomorrow. I was like,
No,
I
no, no, no,
cannot
no.
do
I'm
that.
doing it by
Okay.
February 20th. That's
Okay,
what I'm.
great, great.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know what the other groups are doing in terms of editing, if they're doing their own editing, and but I would think, Sven, that when this is put together with the other pieces into one report, somebody's going to have to edit and format the whole thing similarly, and so that's not our job. It's your job.
Well, it's AI job.
AI job,
Oh, it's
exactly. That's what
AI.
I was
Okay.
Oh,
thinking.
good. Okay. Okay, then
You
I'm not
just
going to do it then.
just run it through AI.
Totally.
Okay.
That's what I would have done.
Okay. Okay, so let's get back. So we agreed on the recommendation that you've got documented, Paul. That's good. We're going to put this summary into the executive summary and let's go back to next steps.
Well, that was an executive summary. Your next steps were more um, detailed, and this is an important section which doesn't make it into the executive summary, but it's important that the uncertainty is in here. Your next steps, this is your section on next steps.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not so sure I like these anymore, so let's talk about them.
To refine estimates to renovate and bring Peabody up to code. Well, first and last bullets are the ones we've
That's
talked
right.
about with
It's
Megan,
the
right?
middle two. It's the middle two. I'm wondering if it's even worth it.
Hmm.
Well, I think it's hard because all three committees are working separately, and now we have to work together for the next steps, which I get is phase two. But I can't, I don't know. But Mary, you're saying the study to refine estimates at Peabody and Ripley, you want to remove that?
Yeah. Especially the one to build new at Ripley, because that just doesn't make, that's a non-starter.
I mean, it's going to be like a $50 million building.
It's a non-starter.
Yeah,
So it's
we
like,
so
why
remember.
are we spending money to refine something that we're not going to do? And I would question whether we would build new at Peabody. So certainly take out the third bullet. My recommendation would be to certainly take out the third bullet. And now I'm thinking the second one as well.
Okay, just being devil's advocate though, what if there are no options for finding an already constructed building?
Then we'd build at Peabody. It makes no sense to build new at Ripley. None.
Because the value of that land is so much greater. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. If that's our option, then it makes no sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine with that.
So we keep this in here, number bullet two in here.
I don't
I
know. I'm not there yet. I don't know. What do you think? Build new at Peabody? So we consolidate off again, I think, excuse me, I don't think that makes a lot of sense, but I'm not as sure of that one as I am about Ripley.
And the Ripley fields are going to stay when we
Yes.
sell off the
Well,
building.
in our report, yes, they do.
Yes.
Yes, in our report. Sven, you got your hand up?
Yeah, I'm just thinking is you could make a conditional recommendation to say is study, refine estimates to build new at Peabody if the other two options are not feasible.
Mm.
Whoops. Yeah, I think that is.
What
Yeah.
other two? What other two?
Yeah,
The
renovate
building,
and
the
bring
new building.
existing building up to code and renovate and bring Peabody up to code.
Oh, those two. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Then we can just leave it in there.
Do we want to reorder it in the order that
Yes.
we're recommending?
Yeah, this is a PDF. I can't move things around here, but yeah. Yeah.
Does anybody have this in a Word doc that we can edit it now or no?
I sent it to you, Paul. I think Paul's the holder of everything I
Everything?
sent.
Yeah, let's not edit it online.
Okay.
I'm making these notes here,
Notes.
so
Okay.
we can do that.
The other next step that I think we really need to highlight somehow is to get community input.
I agree with that. And I think that there's got to be a way to have, with the forums, the hearings, whatever it is. Because honestly, I will say if I were to survey my entire neighborhood, no one knows what we're doing. And I say that in the best way possible. People just don't pay attention.
No, I understand.
Um,
I completely understand.
yeah,
It's so important to me. Why isn't it
I
important
know.
to
I,
everybody
I
else?
wish people were paying attention and people are like, what are you doing? I'm like,
Well, I think this is a really critical element, but I think
yeah.
that for the larger group, whether they're forum surveys here, all or some of these, we have to decide as
Yeah,
the full group.
I wrote this in a paragraph here. Most importantly, I wrote da da da, but somehow a bullet or italics or something that calls it out. Because when I read this, I look at the bullets and then I go, yeah, yeah, yeah. With sometimes with text, I don't see it as clearly as I do other.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the italics might be helpful. I think what you've written here is absolutely critical. I'm not sure you should put it into bullets because you've got the bullets above and then it will get lost in that. So,
Okay,
or
how
if you,
about bold italics underline? Just kidding. How about
Bold, italics, underline.
yeah.
How about shadow and red?
red, yeah,
I like what
bubble
you've done
letters.
here. Your choice, Paul.
Okay.
Okay, any other recommendations that we think we should put in this section or I'm sorry, next steps? And
Maybe you put maybe you put a heading on there like, feedback is critical or something. I don't know, like maybe it's a heading because otherwise it is going to get lost in the text. So
yeah,
you can think about that,
yeah.
Paul. And by when I say you, I mean you, Paul. You think about that.
Are you okay, Paul?
Yeah.
Good. You're
I'm trying to
you're
figure
frozen.
out what.
You're frozen, so I can't read your face. So
Oh, yeah, no, I'm frozen.
okay, so you're okay with that?
I am. I'm trying to figure out what we can have Tracy do. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, I think this is concise. The section I think is, I mean, we're talking, this is important as well. And of course, there's synergies with the other groups. So that sort of goes without saying. Um, yeah.
I'm fine with this. Take out build at Ripley, reorder them so that the build new at Peabody is at the bottom, and then make more of somehow emphasize the public outreach. I think it's good. For me, that's great. So,
I haven't read the rest of the report. Tracy's, your sections are added here. So I think all of us should probably
read.
read
Yep.
Read.
this and
Yep.
with open meeting law, doing a joint report is particularly challenging. So um, maybe send all of those changes, edits to Shannon,
Yep.
and then
Mhm.
she
Yep.
and then I think Shannon can send it to one of us for editing. Maybe that's me. Is that's the way we kind of did it with the 2229 group.
59, yeah.
There was a big report. It went into staff and then went back out to me, and then went back out to staff, and then so staff was sending things around.
Would it be, and I'm gonna put Sven on the spot here, but would it be helpful if it was like you with Sven and Judith that you could just make edits and clean it up? Because that wouldn't be open meeting law because you wouldn't have a quorum of the full committee. And then it wouldn't just be you doing it, Paul.
I can do it anyway. That's easier and just doesn't get lost. And has version control.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah.
I think this report is simple and concise enough that one of us, i.e., me, should kind of get this to the point where our final version gets to Sven and Judith, and then
Judith for review. Yeah.
they can do their thing with this piece and others.
Okay.
So, Paul, will you send out a clean version with the few changes we've made here to us, to Tracy and I? in the next few days. We'll read it and we'll get our any recommendations, any changes that we would suggest to Shannon. What's the date you want those by so that we can meet our deadline?
What is our deadline?
February
February
20th.
20th.
February 20th for the report and
And the
Sven,
slides.
do you need the written report before February 20th?
Would be good, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
that would be good. You're
because
right.
there's certain people on the select board who really pressure to just have something ready by February 23rd.
That's right. That's true. No, that's a good point. Okay, how about
I think we have to be honestly, in full disclosure, I am traveling starting next Thursday. So if we could do it like by next week,
Yeah, let's get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
just
Let's get
let's
it by
just
the
pick
end
a
of.
day and I work better under pressure, I'll just be honest.
Okay. Okay, so what's next week? Pick a day.
Well, how about the 13th? And Tracy, if you can get stuff earlier, that's fine. But
Yep.
Mary and I should nail this by the end of next week.
So the 13th is Friday, yeah. So I'll do it before the 12th.
Okay, so we're going to have all of our suggestions to Paul by February 13th. And then Paul, you and I can work over the weekend and have it too available on the 16th. Or you can
Yeah,
work on it over the weekend and have it available on the 16th. Yeah, we can't work on it. You have to work on it and have it available on the 16th.
Well, if
yeah.
you're working backwards, if you need it by the 20th, there is a holiday in there. You probably need it for the packet on the 20th, I'm assuming. And because the 16th is not a business day.
Is this group meeting before the 20th?
That was my next question. Do you think we need to? I don't think we do.
I don't think we need to.
Okay.
I think
No,
I
okay.
think if we get our if we read you send us the report, we give our suggestions to Shannon, she sends them to you, you finalize it, and we're gonna vote
We
to
trust you, Paul.
we trust you, Paul, and you're gonna get it to the larger group by the 16th. Can you do that? Is that asking too much?
No, I think this report is manageable unless we read the Public Works report and they shame us into something more massive.
Don't
I
Don't do
haven't,
it, Paul. Don't do it.
don't do it.
Less
No,
is
don't
more.
go there. It's
Less
okay.
is more. I think the 16th, and maybe Shannon can pipe in on this. Shannon, you're not working on the 16th?
No, I'm not.
Town offices are closed on the 16th, so I just wouldn't want to send it to Shannon on the 16th when she's not working, because I think that's just
So,
not
but
right.
we're
well,
sending.
I'm just gonna send it when I have it. I mean, I'm a moving
Yeah,
target too all over the place.
yeah, okay.
So
But I don't think we need to meet again. I think we've made some good decisions here today. And okay, and our report is good. It's succinct. We have a lot of research behind it. We have a lot of visits to facilities. We did a lot of modeling. We did a lot of, careful analysis amongst ourselves. We should be proud of this work. It's good.
one thing in looking this over, make sure that we reference and cite where the information comes from.
Yeah.
I think we've done that, but I mean, there's
You know,
a lot of information. The report's not long, so that means we're gonna have to rely on people and citations. So the more we can cite, the better.
well, I'll leave that up to you, Paul.
I mean, I'll say on my side, it was really the Gorman Richards report and that 2020 report, and that was feedback from school employees
And those
and
citations.
the site visits
and the site visits. Yeah.
that was very informative for me.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, those citations in there right now, or do we have to add those?
I don't, no,
Mine,
I
I
didn't,
I
I
put the
didn't put
two,
mine in.
I put the two for the reports that I used, the TBA report and the Gorm.
Oh, okay.
Right.
When you review it, just review that through that lens, just.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Is there a page at the end? Let me try and pull it up now. Is there a page at the end for citations?
No, I think it's buried in the report.
It's buried in the report. It could be footnotes. I don't know how the other groups are doing citations. Sven, any insights into, and we're getting to nitty gritty of.
No, we can make that consistent later.
Okay.
Yeah, don't
with
worry about
AI.
that.
So
Don't
we don't have to worry about it.
don't worry about this right now. This
Yeah.
Okay.
is something where we can have the power of AI taking care of it.
I love that answer, Sven. Power of AI
Well,
takes care of my minutes.
so one question as we sit here. So the there's a clear overlap at Kai's Road between what we are doing and what Public Works are doing. Is that we're focusing on 141
That's
and
right.
that building and but we're not. Oh, have you put any valuation on the sale of the
Yes,
revenue from that?
yes. I
And
carved that out specifically. And that's something obviously that's going to go away or it's going to be an important part of our ongoing conversation.
right, I'm
So
just saying, is that consistent with, or do we worry about that at this point with what Public Works is doing at that same
Don't
site?
don't don't worry about this right now. I think the
Okay,
discussion tomorrow, where there is an overlap, is the Ripley property, because that's one of their three options to place public works.
wow.
but that's not their recommendation, is it?
At the moment, the top is MCI.
Right.
Okay, well, let's hear what they have to say tomorrow. But we were very careful in our scope, and we only looked at 141 Kais Road. So we're good. Okay, so I
Um,
think we're in good shape. Anything else?
just one thing, just the other piece of information. So in the chat room earlier on, Megan said I think Megan, you said on the Harvey Wheeler information, you had sent that out, or maybe I missed that. Uh, um,
Yeah, I
is
did.
that
I
what?
did. And
Okay, no,
oh
no.
yeah, sorry. Maybe I replied to the wrong. I meant to reply to Jess. She had said, I thought we sent those numbers, and I said, I think we did get something, but it might have gotten mixed up. And Jess and I were just looking back at our emails. We did get some feedback from Dan, but I think we need to work a little bit internally to verify to make sure that like the basement is captured, that kind of thing. So we're on that one.
Okay, you're on that one. And the other part of that, were you going to estimate? Oh, so Mary, where are we on the number of units at 55 Church and Harvey Wheeler? Because there was some discrepancy, hundreds of units versus a few.
I'd have to look at it. That's on the assumptions page, and we got that. I think I got that from emails. Megan and Elizabeth Hughes was involved after conversations with Russ. So I just used their
Okay,
numbers. I don't, it's in the assumptions page. But let's
okay,
just
so
go with
that's
what we got. So let's go with what we got. Okay.
yeah,
And we know we need some further study on two important numbers. And then we know that the work that we do will be funneled into a broader discussion. So I think we're in good shape.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the work that you've done. Let's see how it all mixes up with the rest of what's going on. I will send you, Paul, some any suggestions on the report that you send out on the 13th. I'll get those to you over the weekend.
Yeah,
Did you
and
did you
keep,
guys
keep,
decide who was doing minutes today?
Paul.
Do you
Paul,
want me to do it, Paul?
if you could do it, I'd
Sure.
love it.
Great.
Oh,
great.
Shannon, you know what to send me.
that's great.
Very good.
Excellent.
I have to say I've really enjoyed working with you guys. I'm sure I'll see you again somewhere sometime.
Like tomorrow.
Yeah, this has been fun. This has been fun.
It has been fun.
I'll see you tomorrow. Okay,
Yeah,
thanks,
totally.
All right.
Bye.
thank you.
All right.
Bye.
You're
Bye.
adjourning at 1:15. I'm just
We're
putting that in the
adjourning at
minutes.
1:15. Yes,
Okay.
say that.